It's your boy Davidoff. Not had enough sleep today, but it is what it is. I'm going to the zoo later, so I'm going to put that vlog as part of the aquarium vlog, and you won't see that vlog for maybe a few weeks. So what I'm doing after this, you won't see for a while. Optus Stadium is what I'm doing today. I'm touring Optus Stadium. I came to Perth 2 years ago for a day before going to Melbourne, and I wanted to do the tour, but I landed at like 3 o'clock, and the last tour was at 12. I'm just like, why are the tours so early? Why is it not like a... there could be like a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Nope, 10, 11, 12, mate. 10, 11, 12. I'm doing 10 a.m. today, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm finally gonna go inside Optus, so that's great. I wanted to see a game here. That would have been a great alternative. Like the Gabba, for example. I didn't tour the Gabba, but I saw a finals game there, and it was a great finals game. And I want to see Sydney SCG. I've only toured that stadium. I'm still gonna wait on that because I'm in Perth on the day where they're playing at home in Sydney, so just bad timing. Just bad timing. But yeah, even though I can't watch games at Optus or the SCG, two stays I want to watch A4 games at least I can tour the stadiums. And I'd already toured the SCG 2 years ago. Now I can tour this. There is the Adelaide Oval as well, but I want to save that. I want to hopefully come for a go around, hopefully next year. We'll see. Depends on, ticket and stuff and the right hotels. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. And I don't know if I'll buy anything there because I've already got an Eagles cap. I bought an Eagles cap 2 years ago, even though I'm a Hawks fan. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the tour. It's 90 minutes long and we get to see, all around the stadium. So I'm excited for this. So it's actually an hour walk. I would have done that. It's an hour walk from this hotel. I was telling you about hotels in a bit. I would have done it, but it's too late. I should have left 45 minutes ago for that. So that's just not going to happen. So it's a 15-minute Uber instead. So that's all right. Anyway, I'm staying at Rendezvous Perth City Hotel, not to be confused with Rendezvous Scarborough Hotel. There's 2 rendezvous in Perth. One's in Scarborough, one is this one. I'm staying in this one. I'll show you outside. There's literally there's a bridge over a highway, right? And it leads into like a hilly road. You saw that road in the first vlog I arrived here. You go up the road, you turn left, and Kings Park is right there. And Kings Park is a great place. So it's a nice place. Like if you like a morning jog on holiday, it's a great location. And yeah, it's a good hotel. It's a studio hotel, so it's a bit like a flat, these hotel rooms, and I got a pretty good rate. I booked through Expedia. I booked everything, almost everything through Expedia, every hotel at least, and most flights. So because of that, when you buy things and when you actually do them, when you do the hotel, we do the flights, it adds on like points, and the points are basically credits, money. So you get money off certain things, and you get promo codes. You get like, okay, this hotel is 20% off, but only if you book at this time. I get different deals. So this hotel, I paid less than I would have paid normally. So I think it's pretty cool. That's not an advert, by the way. I'm not sponsored, but maybe they should sponsor me because I use them all the time. Big ups to Expedia. Big shout out to them. Anyway, let me get outside the hotel and then to Optus. Here it is. Here is the hotel. And there is the bridge behind me over to the park. And the city is just out there behind me. So it's pretty good, close to Kings Park. 50 minutes away from Optus Drive. And close to the zoo as well, so a pretty good area. I actually had a better hotel than this. I had one called St. George's Pierre or something like that, but I had to change the hotel because of the dates, and then they didn't let me have the same rate because it was an Expedia rate. It was like a premium hotel that I got cheaper. Unfortunately, I couldn't bloody get it. I changed the dates because like with some of these premium hotels, like I got one in Melbourne last year that you get on a cheaper rate through Expedia. You got to book it at a certain date, so if you change the dates, they'll charge you more, or they'll just say, well, we can't hold your booking. So it's unfortunate, but I still got a good alternative, so that's not too bad. Here we are. Yeah. Christian Vlogs 2 years ago, I was here, but I didn't get to go in. When Mark was showing me around, he brought me here. We kind of saw inside from one of the gates, but that's as much as we could see. But it was great. I saw the statue over there. It was pretty cool. Yeah, the stadium looks great from the outside. And I'm finally, aside from watching it on TV, I'm going to see it from the inside, beyond the field, of course, as well. So I assume I'm going this way. I have no idea for sure. Hopefully I am going the correct direction. By the way, that hotel I was talking about was called Citadines. You can see a view of the stadium through that hotel. It's a shame I had to cancel it. There's the meetup point. They said the ozone at the City View Cafe, so fairly certain there you go. And then there's a stadium there, so yeah.
can see, this is what we like to think you get that well fact when you first come into this stadium. Now this stadium, as I said, is designed for mainly sport. It's a combination between Bermuda, winter grass, and 5% is synthetic grass holding it all together. It sounds funny, but on the outside that is all synthetic grass, 360 degrees around. From 0 to 9 you're exposed to the weather. From 10 above you're undercover. 50 centimetres sex leg room, so nobody's inconvenient. Now I spoke about Subiac, or even the MCD don't have that. So we've done very well. But apparently I was talking to a lady who's a member of the MCD earlier think about these actual lifts. You know that many of them try to bring injured players off it on the ground. That is physically big enough. And right. That, I'm not allowed to use the word scary, because the roof tour guides get angry. I've got one of my relations has got tickets here for the Eagles game. They love it. It all depends on your personal choice. So when we have rectangular sports, rugby and soccer, obviously it's a great viewing point, but we can add another 5,000 seats onto the playing surface if necessary, if it calls for it. So we get close and personal if necessary. I know that was really good, so we have free capacity on that particular. Very loud, but the clarity is absolutely superb and upfront sound. 897 lights on the roof, they light up the playing surface. When you go to other stadiums with the big tower lights, they create foreshadows for players running around. That completely eliminates it, so it's a great visual effect on your eyes. They've done a fantastic job in that respect. However, the wise people over is building bigger ones. They are 34 metres by 10, so I want you to remember that. It may be spring, it may be raining and cold, but it's still spring. Which then they do by the weather pattern, which makes a lot of sense. You can see in the waffle, if you're a waffle fan, the football, each amount they're using that as a home side for the grounds we're renovating. Okay, let's go for walkies. Gary, very, very popular area. Look at the backdrop of Purchase who's got. Okay, down through here is what we call the timeline of history of West. Up there is the original football they started the game with. Okay, here is a photo of the captain of the AFL. Now, if you're an AFL fan, like I am, this guy's Matt Bourne, he's the captain. He's the only player in his career, and he's going over 200 games now. He's never bounced the ball in his whole career in AFL football. If you're a football person, you know they bounce the ball. This guy's never bounced the ball in his career. There's some green boots here. As you come through, you'll see some green boots. As I said, if you're very interested in sporting history, I can recommend the tours. We have them once a month and they're fantastic. There's about 3 levels you go through and have a look at all these photos. Hello. Hello.
Sorry.
Sorry? No. That's all right.
Which the Eagles like and Dockers like at one open forum. So these days in all sporting things you have as many coaches as you do players these days, so it's quite strange. This is all I said in here. As I said, we've got 1,000 TVs throughout the stadium and 3 are sitting up there. That is for the coaching staff. Now the Vertigo Tour, that's that, you saw the one on the other side, that's it there. That is all open, it's all mesh, there's no rails, you're harnessed, you hang on to it, upside down like a possum. My grandkids did it, they give me heart attacks, the photos they have. Really very popular. Then you have the Halo Tour, no food, you have a jumpsuit, you're harnessed, your glasses has to be attached to your head, no cameras, and no toilets. So the tour guide will ask you twice before you go up there, do you want to use the facilities? Because once you get up there, you're not coming down until your turn's up. I don't know if anybody's ever been caught up there yet, we haven't heard, but it probably could happen. Union, so, you know, yeah, Western Falls, they're the only one we've got, yeah. Very, very popular. This is used by the clubs for their clientele during the season. It's used by a lot of corporate. We've had a wedding in here, which we're going to see in a minute. This whole area. On my left is the Fremantle football club coaching box. It's on that level. And the away team is up at level 4, that's level 3. Those pylons there, there's 2,000 of those pylons are standing. It's used by dockers, everything's mirrored, so obviously we don't duplicate some of the areas. The West Coast Eagles will put all the motivation stuff around, or young wrestlers. This is where they work out their strategy on the day. So example, if the Eagles were playing Fremantle Football Club, they replay the game so they can work out their finer. Okay, so this is the actual Eagles change rooms. As I said, everything's been duplicated from the Dockers and the Eagles, so this is how what it looks like on a match day. So they come here, all the gear's already for them. Their jumpers, their shorts, their socks are already made for them. They get out of their civic gear and get into their work gear as they call it. Now, as you can see on the lockers there, they've got players who played 100 games on all their premiership cups on their game. In the grand final 2013, and they lost, and guess what? Occasionally, but very rarely, that exclusive is. This is the rooms where the rugby, soccer, cricket all change in. Scorches, if you know the scorches, welcome to hospital ward of Optus Stadium because it does look like a hospital ward, doesn't it? Apart from when they first go on the ground, it's called a locker room experience. Just a quiet type of thing. You can look at it when we walk past.
Yeah, all the WWE, I believe. I do all the.
This is where the Eagles first run on the ground when they first run out through, and other sporting colours of the team coming on. Fingerprints all over the waving to their heroes. It just doesn't work. They all sit on the ground. Same as the coaches for soccer, rugby, they're all on the ground. That's where the statisticians are running up in there. So this is the Fremantle Football Club, exactly the same size as the Eagles. To me, this one looks bigger because of the white kits to make things look bigger, but it's no different. And the back is the ice box, you still got Fremantle and the West Coast Eagles exactly the same. This is how it works from here. Players who played 100 games or more have been recognised, and below that, against that number, they're an ambassador or a sponsor of those particular companies. So that's principal works. These lights, Chris, do you reckon these lights are dull?
It's very dull.
Yeah, come on, that's, you know, before that. Okay, when you're ready, we'll go through and have a look at your weight tab. They'd have an Eagles banner up there, or vice versa. No. But that's what. So this is the away team. As you see, it only holds 30 principal. The names are put up on the locker and all the... I'm going to show you the viewing boxes for the Eagles and Dockers, where the non-players go to the partners and the batsmen walk through there. The first one is the Fremantle Football Club, that glass petition.
And the tour is over. It is 11:44, so that's not bad timing. That's a City View Cafe. I would go in. I want to get to the zoo because I got something booked at the zoo. But yeah, this was fun. This is really fun. It's a magnificent stadium. It's interesting how there's 4 changing rooms. Like there's the West Coast, the Frio, the away team, but the away team is only for AFL. So there's another changing room for soccer, rugby. I mean, I call it football, of course. Football, rugby, cricket, T20, you know, stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They've got cables that go around the stadium. It's long enough to go around the world 6 times. So that's pretty crazy. There's a cup holder in every seat. Only stadium to have that. I learned this 2 years ago anyway, but I thought that was a cool thing to bring up again. The Optus over there disappears for cricket because of sponsorship, different sponsorship. It's all about money, really. He said there's 3 stadiums you don't rename, and that's added over all the Gabba and MCG. Apart from that, all about money and sponsorships. They paid 50 million, I think, for 10 years. I think it's up in 2 years or something, and then because there's a bidding war. I wonder who would buy it if it was an Optus. I mean, who would get the naming rights? I'm curious about that. Lifts are fireproof. I listed it down, so I'm going to keep looking at my notes. So there was a green boot next to the Melbourne. You see Max score and you see the trophy and that little cabinet there. There's a green boot. They don't know who it belonged to. 10 players wore a green boot that day. They still don't know to this day which player wore that boot. But there was a green boot there, and no one knows whose boot it was. But I feel like it's a 2021 grand final, so get those 10 players, ask them, did you lose a boot? Is it? They probably tried that. And they didn't know. Maybe it's I don't know. Surely you can find who wore this boot. That's a mystery. Something for Scooby-Doo. The seats right at the top where you can sit for a half of football or soccer, a quarter of AFL or 10 overs of cricket. I thought that was pretty interesting. It's very high though. There's 2 walks you can do. So there's a little circular walk on the side of the stadium, and there's one all the way around the whole stadium, the Halo walk. Apparently that's really good. Apparently you harnessed up. I'm not going to look to do it today, but I feel like that's something I would consider, even though I hate heights. Apparently it's very secure. There's no chance of falling off. So that's something to consider if I come back to Perth. So the commentators have like a computer thing where they can press a number of a player and it will just list them down, all the facts about them. Do they have this in every stadium or just here? Because that just makes the commentators less impressive with what they know, if that's what they have at Optus. Now, every time I watch West Coast Eagles game or Frio game at home, I'm going to know that the commentators have like a screen, they can press a number and they can just find out what they want about them. It makes commentators less impressive. A couple more things, one more serious one's a joke. The serious one, right, World War One, obviously Australia's population wasn't that high, and in 1915 they got involved a bit more heavily. They were worried about the AFL game, like could they keep it going? So they had the women, they made a women's league. They made, I don't know, was it each suburb or the different areas, they had a women's team, and they formed a league and they kept a footy going. from 1916, 1917 or something. They kept AFL going while the men were out fighting in the World War. I thought that was cool, you know, because women's football has not been recognized that well until like the past 10 years or so. AFLW has become more prominent now. It's starting to grow a bit more, but they've been playing for a long time, well over a century, and it started with World War One in terms of WA anyway. The other one's a joke. The tour guide's a Carlton fan. He asked if there's any Melbourne fans. There were a couple. There was a West Coast fan. He asked if there's any Collingwood fans, and there was one guy. And the tour guide said, I think his name is Bob. He's a great tour guide, by the way. He's an amazing tour guide. So he said, there's always one. There's always one Collingwood fan. In all my years, he's probably been doing his tours. Like, he did it at Subiaco as well. So he's been doing stadium tours for a long time in WA, right? And he said, there's always one Collingwood fan. And he literally said, there's only been about 20 tours where there's not been a Collingwood fan on there. It's like they've got a secret spy network around Australia. Back in England, that is our perspective of Manchester United. There's a Manchester United fan bloody everywhere. Like, they're in London, they're all over the country. They're very annoying. Like, when I went to school, the most supported teams were Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United. Even like Chelsea's a London team, and they had a lot less fans that I knew than Man United. There's swarms everywhere. So I'm guessing Collingwood have that perspective here, in terms of like there's Collingwood fans everywhere apparently, and this guy apparently there's always a Collingwood fan on one of his tours. I love the banter about that. It's a secret spy network. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. You know, I don't like Collingwood either, so you know I'm in the same boat. But obviously he's a Carlton fan. So yeah, but you know, someone I think the Collingwood fan made a joke like, you've been down the bottom a long time, mate. But not last year, not last season. He wasn't talking to me, just to clarify. People think I'm a Carlton fan. I'm a Hawthorn fan through and through. Okay, relax. Also, we can keep these, which is cool. I'm gonna head to the zoo now, but this is a great tour. This is my last day here, so I look forward to sharing with you. Some of you know what state I'm going to next, but for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna keep it a little bit quiet. But I think it's pretty obvious probably where I'm going next. But WA has been great. I've not done everything I wanted to do. Like, there's a video game museum here, like has retro games from like decades ago. That would have been cool to check out. Don't have time. There's Mandurah, which is like 30 minutes from here. There's a dolphin cruise thing. Something I looked into doing 2 years ago, but I couldn't do it. Timing wasn't right, plus I chose to do the tour with Mark anyway. He showed me around WA, great job. So there's a few things I couldn't do in WA, but this is a good way to end it. A nice little climax. When I saw the pitch, I thought that was from WWE because they had the event last weekend, but actually apparently Pink were here. That's from a concert. There was a room for the tables they were clearing up, and apparently like WWE wrestlers were sitting there having their lunch or whatever, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, amazing tour, amazing stadium. I can see the statue that I was taking. I took a photo of next to that statue and posted it on YouTube, Instagram. I remember coming here 2 years ago, but I actually couldn't go in. I can just look in. Now to actually go in to see everything, it's amazing. The facilities, everything, a lot of effort went into this. And apparently it can be expanded by 10,000, which, like the tour guide said, actually, why not just do it when you built it? You spend so much money in a stadium. You could have just made it 70k, right? Instead of 60k. But yeah, amazing stadium. I love it. It's like a giant boat, although actually most stadiums look like a giant cruise ship. So I guess that kind of doesn't make it special. But yeah, this is great, and I like the area of it as well. Amazing area, rivers right there. Yeah, this is bloody incredible. So this is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Let me find an Uber. I need to get to the zoo.